Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm super excited today because I am going to be trying out a recipe. I've actually never made this recipe before. It's a double chocolate brownie recipe. I actually found it on the back of this bag, this almond flour bag from Blue Diamond. I just purchased this at Sam's at a great price for this 3-pound bag. So the recipe's in the back of the bag. It's double chocolate almond brownies. It does of course call for regular sugar and for regular brown sugar. So that I'm going to change in order to make it low carb and keto friendly. I'm also going to change up the chocolate. It requires, or the recipe asks for semi-sweet chocolate. I'm going to be using this, which is 100% unsweetened chocolate of this brand. Here's the bar. And for the chocolate chips, I'm going to be using these Lily's dark chocolate baking chips. I found these at my local Walmart. I've already used them in a chocolate muffin recipe, and they're really good. So I know already those are going to work out. And everything else is just going to be the standard thing in the recipe. I'm going to need some butter, some eggs, and vanilla. It calls for some almonds that I'm going to chop up, and the sweeteners I'm going to use, since I'm not going to use regular sugar, I have a combination of just granulated erythritol. This just happens to be a brand that I bought not too long ago at like a Marshall's, where they have like their specialty food items. I found it there and it works really great. It's granular. And then I have this Sukrin Gold brown sugar alternative, which is also great. I've used in the past. So let's try this out. Never made it before. I'm super excited. I hope it comes out nice and delicious. So let's get started. So what I have here is my bar of chocolate that I melted with the butter, and I'm just kind of letting it cool. I've let it cool a little bit, and the recipe calls for me to add the vanilla extract, and it says 1.5 teaspoons. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that now. That's 1 teaspoon of my vanilla. Is pretty thick. It's very strong. It's more like vanilla paste, but I'm still gonna add 1.5 teaspoons. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add the sugars. And like I said, I'm gonna be using this. It calls for a 1/4 cup of regular sugar. And I'm basically gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do a 1/4 cup. Trying to follow the recipe as best as I can. And then it also calls for brown sugar. I'm going to be using this brown sugar. It also says a 1/4 cup. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I guess we could always add a little bit of stevia if we wanted to make it sweeter. So I'm just gonna mix this in. If you have the powdered erythritol, I'm sure you can also use that. So just make sure this is completely mixed. And once we do that, we're gonna add the eggs. And I have 2 eggs, which is what the recipe calls for. Make sure that the chocolate and the butter mixture have chilled before you do this, because you don't want to scramble your eggs. And this, as you can see, it's just dumping everything in there. It's beginning to look like a brownie. I know it looks a little weird, but that's what it's supposed to look like. And I think I'm gonna add a little bit of liquid stevia. Be right back. Okay, so here's my liquid stevia, and I'm just gonna do a whole dropper full. Actually, maybe a little bit more. So a dropper and a half. Because the chocolate that it calls for said semi-sweet, and I really didn't have any semi-sweet. I had 100% cacao. All right, so now we're gonna just go ahead and add the almond flour. I'm going to stop using the whisk because I'm pretty sure we're gonna need to use the spatula. So we're just gonna add the almond flour that it calls for. You can see it's getting nice and thick. And it also calls for the chocolate chips because it is a double chocolate brownie. Ooh, look at this. It's really nice and thick. Okay, so now it says to add 2/3 of a cup of the chocolate chips, and this is about 1/2 cup of the almonds. A lot of almonds in here. Oh, it got even thicker. It's really nice. So you can see this is a nice thick batter. And I'm trying to see if I missed any of the ingredients. It didn't really call for any salt, so I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm not gonna add any salt. Just trying to follow the recipe here. And as you can see, it's pretty thick. Okay, so let me get my pan so we can get ready to bake it. This is my 8x8 pan that I greased and I had set aside, just a square pan. So let's just add our batter in. The oven is already waiting for us. Pouring it all in here. It's a very, very thick batter. It smells really good. All right, let's put this down. Ooh. And then I'm just gonna evenly spread it in the pan. So, looks really good, and it smells really good too. So I'm just spreading it as evenly as possible. And I'm gonna try not to overbake it because I know brownies shouldn't be overbaked. They should be nice and chewy, at least in my opinion. So this is what it looks like. It's very dense. And the recipe says to cook, bake for 30 to 35 minutes or until toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. And then you let it cool completely before cutting into squares. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the oven and I'll show you guys what the result is. Okay, so these are the brownies. They were in the oven. I left them in there for about 22 minutes because I didn't want them to burn, and I could have put a foil over it, but I didn't because it is almond flour, so it could burn easily. They did get a little toasty on the edges, but not too much. And I took one out, and it's still hot, but it's warm right now. And I just want you to see what it looks like inside. It's pretty dark, you're not gonna be able to see it. It's very, very intense chocolate. But it's really good. And I guess the original recipe calls for semi-sweet chocolate, and that probably would make them less intense. But you could also, I could have also used more sugar, you know, still use the 100% chocolate that I used, but add more sugar, maybe more erythritol or more of that brown sugar. Maybe add another 1/4 cup and some more stevia, but they're really good. So I'm glad I tried them. So if you guys do find this humongous bag of almond flour at Sam's, or even if you just find this brand, it works really well. I'm going to link under the description of the video. I'm gonna put a link to the recipe for this brownies in case you guys want to try them. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.